Good afternoon, hockey fans, and welcome to Amsoil Arena in Duluth, Minnesota, where the UMD women will host Long Island University in an afternoon matinee, the second of two non-conference games this weekend. The Dogs took game one 6-0 the final on the back of 4 goals from their fifth-year senior captain, Manon McMahon. Thanks so much for being with us. I am Zach Schneider, joined in the booth today by Alexis Bass. Today's game brought to you with the proud support of Essentia Health and Kohler Chevrolet Buick GMC. It certainly was an impressive performance last night in what was UMD's season opener, but today, a new day. The Dogs stressing going into Game 2 that more of the same will be required to complete the sweep over the Long Island Sharks, Alexis.
That's right, Zach. They talked last night, too. Maura said, not too high, not too low, keep with our same values, our energy, consistency. She said, last night's performance, what more could she ask for? Of course, there's always things to improve on, and I know we'll get to that. She touched on defensively, she wants to see a little bit more happening, but offensively, she was thoroughly impressed, and you can't blame her for that.
Talked yesterday at length about Long Island, now 0-3, have not scored a goal in those 3 losses to start their season. They were in the NCAA tournament a year ago. We expect to see a much different, very motivated Sharks team this afternoon. Yeah,
game 2 is always going to be tougher, the taller task, and UMD realizes that and knows that they can't let up at all when it comes to this game 2 against LIU this afternoon.
We are underway at UMD and Long Island, second of 2 games here in Duluth. Thanks for being with us. This is Hunt, sends it through the crease area. Baskin will pinch down from the point for UMD. Bouncing puck along the end boards, picked up by Hunt. Centering pass is cleared away by Lanto to the blue line, but not out. Hunt, far side half boards, to the point Baskin, to Jobe Smith. Far side Hunt in the circle, looks for McMahon. She had the 4 goals last night. The first player with 4 goals in a single game since 2011 here for UMD. One of those hard to believe, but it's true statistics for this Bulldogs program. UMD in offside, so that gives us time for your Kohler keys to the game, Alexis.
Sorry, Zach. Well, we know LIU has to be ready to outwork UMD, attack the net early on, and eliminate UMD's offensive opportunities. They know that even early on in this first period yesterday, we thought, wow, UMD really has given it to them. They looked tired early on, so just really maintaining that poise and that composure in all 3 periods here. Moore said it last night, they're probably going to take a look at their D zone and probably try to eliminate some plays that they're making on UMD's side, and she felt like our D were
able. Shot score! Clara Van Wieren, just 62 seconds in, and the Bulldogs on the board first. It's 1-0. For the second straight night, the Bulldogs strike early. This time, it's the senior Clara Van Wieren, her first goal of the season. And the Bulldogs out to an early 1-0 lead here on Saturday afternoon.
Well, Maura said yesterday she liked the way they started yesterday. I can tell you she probably feels the exact same after this.
Yesterday, it was transfer Olivia Wallin from Penn State. She scored 131 into the opening period yesterday. Clara Van Wieren does her one better. 102 into tonight's contest. Van Wieren's first of the year has the Bulldogs out in front. Wallin with the puck in the Bulldogs defensive zone, tries to clear, caught up in the official skates right in front of the Bulldogs bench. So much easier to play with a lead. It's one of those obvious statements that we talk about throughout the course of a season, but the Bulldogs now 2 nights in a row to open this season have jumped out to an early lead. It just makes everything else that much easier as the game goes on. An injured Bulldog near the LIU blue line, and that is McMahon, slow to her feet, and will go back to the bench for UMD. So certainly something to monitor as a hushed silence falls over this Amsoil Arena crowd. Not a minute after Clara Van Wieren gives the Bulldogs a lead, their 5th-year senior captain, Manon McMahon, slow to get up, and now talking to the athletic trainers on the bench. We'll keep an eye on 16 in white. Van Wieren has the puck again now. Circles behind the goal. Looking for someone to center to. Gives to Baskin a shot. Holm makes the stick save. Directs it to the far corner. Hunt with the puck in the far corner now for UMD. Back to the point. Job Smith. That's a turnover. This is Journey Miller who will get it in deep for the Bulldogs. Ida Carlson announced as the primary and only assist on the Van Wieren goal, so that will mark Carlson's first official point as a Bulldog, the freshman from Sweden. McMahon still on the UMD bench, done talking to the training staff, so it appears that that scare is all it was for the fifth-year senior captain. We'll let you know when she's back out on the ice as LIU flips that one out to center. Lowry back on the attack for UMD. 3 minutes gone here in the opening period. 1-0 Bulldogs. The shot's 3-0 in favor of the home team. On the end wall, centering pass. That was blocked off nicely by Sarah Rourke, the LIU captain. She fights up the far wall, gets it out to center ice. Dunkel moves it to the near side. Fearman walks into the near circle. Her shot deflected to the end wall, picked up there by Wallin. To the point, Dunkel walks to the middle, tipped in front. Holm makes the save. Good play there in front by Peyton Holloway, the freshman center. Got a tip in close to the goal of Holm, but she was equal to the task. Now a rink-wide pass picked off by LIU. Toe drag to the middle, and that is knocked away from Michaela Lanto, who picks it up again in the corner. Lanto still with it. Now Brunette tries to flip it ahead. Too far out of the reach of Sedura, who battles with McKay into the far corner. Up the wall, picked off by Henderson. Sent one toward the middle of the rink. It pops back to her now near the blue line. Henderson to Sedura, helps it behind the goal. Holloway. Centering pass, looking for Sedura. Shot Carlson and a save made by Holm. Carlson just got her first point as a Bulldog earlier this period, looking for her first goal with that shot. Now it's Hunt. 2 assists in the game last night for her. She fires one wide. Behind the net, it's Sedura. To the point, Carlson. McMahon back out there for her first shift. What a sight that is for Bulldogs fans. She weaves her way through to the defense and knocked away at the last moment. Comes back to the point, Henderson. Her pass for Kraus, no good. It's picked up at the far wall and cleared out to center ice by Ashley Morrow. This is Henderson. Ahead for McMahon. She has to double back just outside the LIU blue line. Baskin with it now. Ahead for Hunt. She'll dump it in. And giving chase now, Fairman along with Kraus for UMD. Van Wieren battles for it along the half boards. It comes free to the point. Job Smith, Baskin. Delays at the near side, switches spots off the bench. That's Bergen, has some space in the far circle. Baskin. Long shot, looking for a tip. Holm finds it through traffic, and we will take a break. Clara Van Wieren's first of the year has the Bulldogs up 1-0 here on My 9 Sports. It's been all UMD in the opening 5 minutes. They lead 1-0 here in Game 2 against Long Island University, the season opening games for the Bulldogs, who have number 2 Ohio State set to come to this building next weekend, as they will open up WCHA play. Hunt behind the goal. Fights her way through a check, gets it back to the point. Job Smith walks the line, gives it to Hunt. Job Smith, long shot. Holm, the save, rebound. Van Wieren, the backhander. Another save by Holm. It's cleared away to the circle, and now out to the blue line. Job Smith holds. Kraus has it. Down low for Hunt. Centering pass. Cleared away momentarily by LIU. Crashing down was Job Smith. Hunt in the far corner. Henderson at the point. Long shot tipped in front again, and Holm makes another stop. From her knees, Lowry can't put it on goal as UMD continues the early onslaught. The shot's now 9-0 in favor of the Bulldogs. O'Brien digs it free to the back end in front, and Holm makes a stop, already her 9th of the period. The score 1-0 UMD. Let's go down to the second Alexis of our team. She is Alexis Beckett between the benches.
this week's Bulldogs presser was the word patience. With so many newcomers losing a lot of key pieces in last season's team, head coach Maura Kroll told her captains they need to manage their energy on certain things, really focus on what's important at this first week of October, the little details, the habits, things like that, and trust the process, make sure they build off that. And it seems to be working for the newcomers as well. Obviously, Olivia Walline opening up scoring for the Bulldogs last night, and Reese Hunt getting 2 assists. So they keep this process going, and it'll be a successful season for the Bulldogs. Guys?
Yeah, thanks very much, Alexis Beckett. Invigorating, a word that we heard thrown around by the coaching staff, not just for the players, but for the coaches themselves to have this new era ushered in of UMD women's hockey.
It is. I think they're reminded on both sides. If you're a player, you're a coach, and Maura talks too, right? Their coaching staff looks a little bit different this year. Everyone needs to be reminded of those foundational things to really build a new team or an old team back up. And whether it was invigorating, but refreshing was the other word that kept being thrown around, whether it was from players or coaches as well, that either way, everyone's going to be learning something new, teachable moments, and so something that everyone can benefit from.
Icing here on Long Island, 7.5 minutes gone here in period number 1. Here's the goaltending matchup tonight. Tindra Holm, again, the start for Long Island. She made 46 saves in the losing effort last night. A change between the pipes for UMD. They go with the sophomore Haley McLeod after freshman Eve Gascon made 12 saves in her collegiate debut, getting the shutout win yesterday. That's something that Maura Kroll alluded to earlier this week. Wouldn't tell us the exact plans, but you would think, based on her comments, that this will be a competition early in the year between McLeod and Gascon to see who might grab the reins of that #1 position.
She said, and both players know that as well. I know she talked about this week, McLeod worked extremely hard this summer on just the things that she wanted to fine-tune. She knew who was coming in. She knew it was going to be another battle. Of course, she knew what that looked like last year when she was behind Emma Soderberg as well. But hey, you love to see those battles in the goalie rooms. I know on the men's side of things, they experience the same exact thing.
The old adage in hockey is that if you have 2 goaltenders on a team, you don't have 1. I don't think that's going to be quite true this year for UMD, as McLeod called into action right on cue. She makes her first stop of the hockey game. A turnover below the goal line leads to a chance in front. I believe it was Journey Miller on the end of that for Long Island. But McLeod and Gascon, both perfectly capable goaltenders. It'll be fun to see that competition evolve, and a little bit tougher on the coaching staff, who was able to pencil in Emma Soderberg's name into every big game they've played pretty much for the last 3 years, save for maybe that time she was at the Olympics when JoJo Chobak stepped up and played so well. But now some decisions to be made for the coaching staff. Yeah,
decisions to be made, but opportunities to come. And Maura said it's a good problem to have. Every coach loves to have options to give their players opportunity. And making sure, let's talk about Haley McLeod just a little bit, that she also contributed to UMD's program record with 14 shutouts last year. And so I know she wasn't talked about a whole lot, of course, because Emma Soderberg was the shining star in net for UMD last year, but she did have an undefeated record in net when she had her 6 starts, that .936 save percentage. And so either way, she's coming back with her same amount of talent, if not improved a ton, as she had that offseason and worked so hard in the offseason for this Bulldog team.
You're going to be curious to see how this plays out, and also the comments that Haley McLeod makes as the season goes on, because she's certainly a very capable goaltender in her own right. She's now the elder statesman in that goaltender room as just a sophomore. Obviously, last year was all about Emma Soderberg for the most part, and everybody was talking about the arrival of Eve Gascon, who's arguably the goaltender that's arrived with the most conversation surrounding her since Kim Martin in this program, another Swedish Olympian. And forgotten in that mix is Haley McLeod. So I think maybe she comes into the season with a little bit of prove-it attitude, maybe a bit of a chip on her shoulder, saying, hey, I can play pretty good hockey when needed as well. So it'll be fun to see as the season goes on. Long Island University going to get the game's first power play as Carlson whistled here for, I believe, what will be a holding penalty. And the Sharks will get the game's first power play after they went 0 for 3 in last night's series opener.
Yeah, Zach, last night UMD special teams worked really hard. They were perfect on both sides. killing all penalties, getting both power play goals. Impressive this early on in the season.
Eid walks in, her shot blocked, comes back to the point, move to the far side circle, centering pass, comes to Rourke, who fires another block shot, this time by Jope Smith for UMD. I believe the first one was Katie Davis, then Jope Smith. 2 big blocks to start this penalty kill for the Bulldogs. To the far side it goes. Culp walks in, a shot that missed the net. Off the boards, out near the blue line. It's held there by Fairman. 30 seconds gone in the power play for Long Island. Fairman winds, fires, it got through. McLeod made the save, rebound, can't be cleared by O'Brien. It's knocked away by Fearman, and Davis can't win that battle, but Fearman on the second effort clears for UMD with 1:15 to go. Lowry off the boards and all the way down. Hunt will give chase, shorthanded for UMD. The Bulldogs did also have a shorthanded goal. One of the 4 that Mann and McMahon scored in the game yesterday came a player down. So special teams was working all the way around last night for UMD. Walking in is Babington. They shoot it around to the far side, giving chase now Kearns. Hunt and Fearman on the scene. Fearman gets the puck out again. Long pass ahead as UMD is changing. This is Babington. Tried to move it toward the middle. Area pass in search of Linnaeus, no good. And now Van Wieren, the goal scorer so far for UMD. One-on-one, shorthanded with some speed. Van Wieren to the backhand. It went right through the crease, and she couldn't finish the play. Baskin to Jope Smith. In the circle, walks in. Holm makes the save. Final 5 seconds of the power play for Long Island. Another successful kill for UMD. They stay perfect, 4 for 4 on the weekend. Out to center ice, Davis off the bench. To Jope Smith and now Fearman. Can they catch LIU in a change? Fearman driving the net. She gets it, a shot rising over the shoulder of Holm. Now Lowry back to the point. That couldn't be handled by Quinn Dunkel, and she will retreat to her own zone with 7:45 to go in the opening period. Tipped ahead. This is Wallin. Wallin with some speed. Can she move to the middle? Slid it again right through the crease. A collision of Holm and her defender, Emma Mortal. And the helmet pops off of Holm. We'll take a break. UMD leading 1-0 here on My 9 Sports. 7.5 minutes to go. 1-0 UMD here in the opening period on Saturday afternoon. Zach Schneider, Alexis Bass here with you. Thanks so much for joining us on My 9 Sports. The Bulldogs have picked up right where they left off last night in the season opener. Jope Smith shoots it in. Kraus cuts it off at the far boards. McMahon, centering pass, that was deflected. She regains control. Baskin leaves for McMahon high in the zone. Moves to the slot area on the backhand in the circle. McMahon, and a great save by Holm. She kicked out the left pad. Comes back to Jope Smith. Baskin, far side point. Long shot, looking for a tip. It hit bodies in front and is cleared away by Long Island University. Tindra Holm, by the way, was fine as we went to that commercial break after she collided with one of her defenders on that last UMD rush. She's been nothing short of spectacular. The 6-0 scoreline last night could have been much worse if it wasn't for Tindra Holm, last year's Nuha goaltender of the year. She has played well against UMD. They've suffered 3 losses, 2 last year to open the year and last night, but the goaltending has not been the issue for the Sharks.
Yeah, I was going to say, Zach, it's easy to look at the numbers. It's easy to look at the stat sheet and think 6 goals that UMD scored against her. However, even just in this early first period, some of the shots that she's had and saved, it's pretty impressive. And I know you talked about it yesterday, the way that you were so impressed by her even last season and just how her game has already grown in these first couple games of the season for this LIU team.
Yeah, she made 46 saves in last night's loss, and considering the 2 games they played last year in New York, that was light work for Tindra Holm. who was over 50 and over 60 in the 2 games she played against the Bulldogs last season.
And Moore said it. She said, they frustrated us so much last year, and that's credit to the way that she played, the way that she was on her A game and P's and Q's for that series last fall at this time.
5.5 minutes to go here in period number 1. Shot in by LIU. To the far side, UMD tries to move it up the boards and does. Out to center ice. No, it didn't get across the blue line. Shot back in by the Sharks. Baskin will have to chase her onto the near side. LIU changing some of its skaters as that rink-wide pass is wayward from Baskin. And it's picked up now by Maggie Culp. Not a ton of offensive chances in yesterday's game for Long Island, but those that were there, a lot of them involved Maggie Culp. She gets a bump up with her line mates Sarah Rourke and Michaela Lanto from third line to first line, at least on the line chart. A lot of coaches will tell you it doesn't mean much where a team is situated, but it's all we have to go on, and that line was certainly LIU's best offensively in last night's opener.
And as you said, it could have been a lot worse, and so I think that you've still got to credit this UMD team. They didn't slow down, whether it was from the first period to the final frame, and that's something Moore was impressed about with this team.
Offside on UMD will step aside. 1-0 Bulldogs on My9 Sports. Back to live action here at AMSOIL Arena. 4:37 to go, first period. UMD leading Long Island 1-0. The shots you see on your screen, 14-3 to the Bulldogs. Anderson goes opposite corner. Eade picks it up there for Long Island. Chips it around the near side boards. The forecheck for UMD, relentless so far in this opening period. They haven't allowed LIU easy exits out of their zone pretty much all weekend. At the blue line, stepping up is Carlson. Angles one ahead from McMahon, who delays there and gives back now to Henderson, who will chase in her own zone for UMD. O'Brien tried to step around Schroeft and can't. It's back out to center ice. Rourke picks it up there, 1-on-3 as she crosses the line. On the right wing, circles behind the goal. Her centering pass off the back of the cage, picked up now by Van Wieren, who leaves for Jope Smith. Those are the 2 alternate captains for UMD this year. We've talked about Manon McMahon, her leadership, but Jope Smith and Van Wieren part of that group as well. Van Wieren has the puck at the point, gives to Bergen. She can't pull the trigger from the high slot. The puck underneath her for a moment, and now it'll be cleared out to center ice by Long Island. Babington tries to fight the puck out to center ice and does. Baskin has it there for the Bulldogs. O'Brien will get it deep and head on a change inside of 3 minutes to go in this opening frame on Saturday afternoon. Babington off a UMD stick deep into the zone, played by McLeod to the near side, out to the blue line. Davis, she moves it ahead. This is Lowry with some speed on the left wing. Behind the goal for Lowry, still controls. Tries to hand it off there, doubles back instead. Carlson was sneaking down, wanted to crisscross with her. Lowry wins the puck back, now moves to the middle. Lowry pass down low and home. Puts a glove to it for LIU with just inside of 2.5 minutes to go. With a break in the action, good time to remind you that UMD Store's annual balloon sale is Wednesday, October 11th. Shop for your UMD gear, pop a balloon at checkout, and you can save 25 to 100% off your entire purchase of UMD wear and gifts. This event only available at the campus store on Kirby Drive, so don't miss UMD Store's balloon sale this Wednesday, October 11th. McMahon with the puck along the sideboards. Tried to go opposite point for Jope Smith. She has to collect it off the carom. Gets some help from Hunt, the transfer from Bemidji State. She had 2 assists in the game yesterday for the Bulldogs. She fires and home makes the save for Long Island University. Let's go down between the benches. Alexis Beckett has more on the 4-goal scorer from last night, Manny McMahon.
Absolutely, Zach, fifth year and captain Manny McMahon having quite the start to this 2023-24 season. 4 goals in last night's game, the first player to do that since 2011, and she's beyond excited to play this year. Earlier this season, I sat down with her and we talked about how quickly this 5th year came for her and how much her time meant to her, spending time in a USA jersey this season.
She scored just 11 goals all of last season, to put that into perspective.
She's on pace to break some more records, that's for sure.
If she keeps it up, that will be a very good year, but they kind of need that because they said goodbye to a lot of offensive firepower, and McMahon, one of the players they're looking to replace some of that. They have to do it by committee. I think that's been the agreement, that you don't replace the likes of Gabby Hughes and Ashton Bell with just one player, but Manny McMahon certainly a big part of the plans this year. 90 seconds to go, opening period. Culp shoots it in for LIU. If they can get out of this period just down 1-0 after the Bulldogs scored just 62 seconds in, I'd consider that a small moral victory for the visitors, because you're still just 1 shot away from this being a tie game. Baskin knocks it away at the defensive line for UMD. Now we'll move it ahead for Katie Davis. 2-on-2 as they cross the line. Davis walks in. Holm makes the save for LIU. And those are the kinds of shots that UMD, it's fine to take them, but Tindra Holm has proven she can stop that shot. She's got 17 saves in this opening period. Yesterday, UMD was doing a better job at getting more looks from dangerous areas of the ice, getting bodies in front of Holm.
And that's the exact thing that Maura talked about last night in last night's post-game presser is LIU is going to eliminate those opportunities for UMD. So they're going to have to be maybe a little bit more creative than they were in game 1, which is what we've seen so far in this first period showing.
45 seconds to go. Jope Smith to the middle. A good passing play there. Kraus couldn't get on the end of it for the Bulldogs. Back the other way comes LIU with some speed. 2-on-2. The puck in on McLeod. And going sprawling was Ashley Morrow. McLeod content to take a face-off in the defensive zone with 33 seconds to play in this first period. Van Wieren wins it for UMD. Still plenty of time if UMD can put together a rush. This is Danielle Bergen on the far side. Sidesteps Eade, sends one through the crease area, no one home. Baskin fires one toward the net. O'Brien on the redirect. Couldn't get it on goal. And LIU will relieve the pressure. They flip it out to center ice. It won't be far enough for icing as Jope Smith has it in the corner. That will do it for this opening period. UMD scores 62 seconds in. Clara Van Wieren gets them on the board, but after that, Tindra Holm, the star of the period. UMD leads it 1-0 after 1. We'll take a break, bring it back for more. The intermission report right after this on My 9 Sports. Welcome back to Amsoil Arena. UMD leads Long Island University 1-0 here after 20 minutes. The only goal scorer of that opening frame, Clara Van Wieren, is on the ice with our Alexis Beckett.
All right, Clara, last night, Olivia Walling came in and scored 92 seconds in. You came in today, 62 seconds. Walk me through that first goal and how it happened so quickly.
It was a great pass by Ida, freshman on our team. I think that we do a really good job preparing. We got the music going, we got our speeches going, so that helps a lot, and the girls come out ready to go.
So you had that momentum coming in. How big of a momentum swing is that to get that first goal in so quickly?
It's good. It takes some of the stress off. You get that first goal super early on, you can kind of just take a deep breath and get back to your normal way of playing your normal game.
And it's just a one-point game. How do you guys come out and make sure that you guys get a couple more goals going in that second period?
Yeah, I think just stick to the game plan, keep working hard. Our word for today is relentless, so keep being relentless in every facet.
All right, thank you so much, Clara.
Thank you.
Guys.
Yeah, thanks very much. Certainly a good word. I think it accurately describes the Bulldogs in that opening 20 minutes, just the one goal, but they're clearly out shooting Long Island, they're out chancing Long Island, they're out possessing Long Island, they're doing everything right, except they've only scored the one goal thus far.
Yeah, they're outworking that team, and that was the struggle for LIU yesterday. But of course, that's not always going to translate on the scoreboard, so UMD's got to remain encouraged in the way that they're keeping their values, their energy, their commitment to the puck really high, and they were able to do that last night. I think if it wasn't for LIU's goalie, they would have scored a lot more in that same case today for this LIU team.
Nice to see, too, for UMD. Olivia Wallin, a transfer senior. Manon McMahon has been here now 5 years. Clara Van Weeren, a senior. Nice to see some of the older players pulling on that chain early in the year, because we talk so much about the freshmen, but it's still a welcome to college hockey moment here. So the seniors pulling their weight here early in the opening series is nice to see if you're Maura Kroll.
It is, and Manon said that this week. She said, when I talk about my leadership, the way that I lead this team as a captain, it's by example, and she did that so early on. She did that all game yesterday, and I love the way that integration between all of the older transfers come in and lead with this leadership, this veteran team at UMD, because of course the expectation is higher for those players that come in from various leagues across the entire country that still have collegiate experience, while the 6 freshmen, you know, those expectations still are high, but there's a couple more things that they need to jump through, hoops they've got to go through, because college hockey is all new to them.
You will hear more from one of that leadership group. She is Manon McMahon, had 4 goals in yesterday's series opener. Right now, she and the Bulldogs lead 1-0 here after 1 at My 9 Sports.
All right, Manon, your graduate senior year, 5th year on the ice. How quickly did it come?
It's crazy. Like, driving back up to Duluth, I'm like, this is the last time I'm going back to school. But every year has been so special and so different, too. So I'm really excited for this year, but it went by so fast. I'm very happy I have a 5th year.
Yeah, a slight difference this year is the C on your chest. I know you talked to me a little bit how special it was. What was the moment like when Coach said your name?
Yeah, it was pretty emotional. Just this established program, UMD, it's been like this for years, and just the amount of leaders and captains that have come through, and my name being a part of that now is something that is super special and I don't take very lightly. So when I found out, it was very emotional. My family was there to support me, and then having my assistant captains be some of my best friends too is super special. So we're just really excited, and it was a little emotional when we found out.
All right, let's talk about Team USA. U.S. Collegiate Women's Select Team. Talk about how that opportunity came about and just how exciting that was.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been to a Team USA camp since I was 16 years old, which just speaks so highly about the program that we have at UMD and how my coaches have developed me, how my teammates have pushed me, and being able to finally go to a camp. I was so excited. I got an email in June, and I remember thinking, like, this is crazy. I didn't even think that this was an option at this point. And then we got to camp, and it was just a blast getting to meet so many people, learning from so many established coaches, and just being able to wear a USA practice jersey was so cool. And then we get into that room that night, and they announced the team, and I see my name on the board, and just immediate chills fill my body and tears start to flood my eyes. And I remember telling coaches and just thanking them, because they're the reason that I was able to make that team. And then finally putting on the USA jersey and getting to play Canada, it was amazing, and it just left me speechless. And my parents were there, and my coaches were there to support me, and it was an unbelievable feeling.
Inside the House is brought to you by Bullion RV.
Back to Amsoil Arena, second period upcoming for UMD and Long Island University. Zach Schneider, Alexis Bass here with you. Thanks for being with us on this Saturday afternoon on My 9 Sports. UMD leads LIU 1-0 after 1. And again, pretty much according to the script if you're the home team.
Yeah, that's right, Zach. I mean, good on UMD coming out, getting that first spark plug in that first goal. I know that always sets the tone for every single team. And big for Clara, another leader on this team. And for LIU, you've got to give them credit for the way that they stop pucks and net. And in their offensive zone, and the way that their goalie continues to just be really impressive, despite, again, yesterday their 6-goal win, UMD's 6-goal win, and then today, right now, obviously the scripts are looking a little bit different come this first period, and so that's improvement on LIU's side.
So often we say this in college hockey, the next goal seems significant in this game. Can UMD make it 2-0, which isn't insurmountable by any means, but seems like a big lead in this weekend series? Or can LIU score not only the first game of this game, but their first goal of their season to try and get something going on that visitors bench?
Yeah, and I think for LIU, if they continue to do what they've been doing, which is playing really good defense, stopping those pucks for the most part, that defensive mentality will go ahead and translate into the opposite side of things by staying so disciplined on that end that they'll see the reward in their hard work of playing the defense that they have been and seeing that offensively on the scoreboard.
Teams coming back onto the ice. And we will get the second period underway shortly. UMD and Long Island, thanks so much for being with us here. Game 2 of this non-conference weekend series. Yesterday's opener, a 6-0 victory for UMD. Manon McMahon, the 5th-year senior captain who you heard from during that intermission, had 4 goals in that opening game for UMD. Her line will start this second period for the Bulldogs, matched up against the top line for Long Island, centered by their captain, Sarah Rourke. And we are underway in this middle frame here at Amsoil Arena. Hunt tried to go cross ice as she entered the zone, poked away from Kraus. Now it's McMahon who has it behind the goal. Centering pass off the back of the cage. Hunt, who has a motor that does not quit, will chase into the near side corner. That's what UMD players and coaches really love about her. And I think they love even more that she's not on the opposition. They had to deal with it for 4 years at Bemidji State. McMahon out in front, and that's defended well in the end by Maggie Culp, who's pushed to the near side boards, but Rourke digs it out of there and will clear for Long Island.
Yeah, Zach, I asked Nina yesterday what Reese means to this team, and she said Reese means everything to us, her confidence, her poise. She's just an amazing player, and they're so lucky to have her this year. Even though she's not wearing a letter on her chest, she said she still means just as much of a leader to us, and that says a lot, especially coming in to a different team. You've played with a different jersey all 4 years of your collegiate career, but you do still know this league, the WCHLA, so well, and know the standards that you're going to be up against week in and week out.
Some familiar surroundings, certainly. She's played in this building. Yesterday she was whistled for a penalty, and she actually skated to the away penalty box. I think she's so used to doing that in some of these rinks that she'll have to get used to that. Some more familiar surroundings. The new assistant coach for UMD, Emma Sobiek, comes from Bemidji State as well, so she has another familiar face to start the year in that UMD locker room. The goal scorer, Van Wieren, slides it ahead for Carlson. She cuts through the slot area for UMD. Now will fire. That was wide. It bounced off the defender and comes back high in the zone where Bergen has it for the Bulldogs. We've played nearly 2 minutes in this second period. There's our first shot on goal as Holm stops Bergen. Take a look at the stats through 20 minutes. The shots heavily lopsided in favor of UMD. And just the one power play to Long Island in that first 20 minutes. Laline pressures Kearns, who wraps it around to the far side, cleared out to center ice by LIU. We knew it was going to be a better performance from the visitors. It tends to always be in the 2-game series. When one team gets blown out in the opener, they seem to come back a more motivated, a grittier team, and that's what we've seen so far from Long Island. This has been a better performance than it was yesterday for for Long Island, I should say. Bulldogs in offside here. With the 6-0 victory last night, Maura Kroll earned her 250th career coaching victory. 154 of those have come during her now 9 seasons at UMD. Moves her into 15th among active coaches, and one of only 2 women in the top 15 of active coaching wins leaders. So certainly she continues to be one of the best in the country, leading one of the programs that has developed such a reputation, UMD has, that expectations, as much as we talk about, Alexis, this being a year where they have to preach patience, they have to understand that these players are new and they're not going to be Gabby Hughes and Ashton Bell right away. The expectations in that locker room are still national championship. We want to be the best team in the country.
That's right, and Maura touched on that so often, that they're not here to necessarily fill those shoes, fill those gaps, but what a great opportunity to come in and to reach your potential. I think sometimes when you have those top-notch players playing those positions, as a player yourself, you're not able to get there yet because you're not necessarily called to that point or given that opportunity. And so I think we're going to continue to see the development of some of these younger players from last year come out and really prove their own point and prove what they're meant and the mark that they want to give to this Bulldog team. And as for Maura, every single player that I talk to just continues to say the same thing about her. They really just do love her and her coaching staff, and that's the reason why they have the ability to develop at the level they do here at UMD.
Rourke shoots it in for LIU. They're still 1 shot away from tying this game. Bergen flies through center ice, tries to drive wide, defended by Mortal, comes back to the point. Carlson, long shot, tipped wide of the goal by O'Brien. Bergen picks it up behind to the point. Henderson walks to the middle, long shot. That missed on the glove side of home. O'Brien pins the defender to the wall, gets some help. Now a 2-on-2 battle beneath the goal line of Long Island University. The shot's 20-3 in favor of UMD. The score 1-0 Bulldogs. Culp, nice outlet pass. This is Lanto into the UMD zone. Stick handles into the corner where she's pushed to the wall by Baskin. Gets some help from Katie Davis, who digs the puck free. Davis continues on, now 3-on-2 as they cross the line. Far side, Lowry, and a kick save made by Holm. Right on the scene was Davis. Good rebound control there from Holm. And LIU now tries to clear the zone. It's taken away by Wallin. To the point, Job Smith walks in. Sidesteps one defender in the circles. Through the top of the crease area, it comes to Hunt at the far point. She works her way down the far boards, gives it to Baskin, long shot. That was high and deflected away by Knutson. Knutson has it now, pressured on the forecheck by Wallin. And now it's out to the blue line, held nicely by Job Smith. Hunt back on the attack, shovels it to Job Smith. Spinorama missed the net on the backhand. Hunt to the point, Carlson. Far side, Job Smith winds and fires. That one hit a stick, deflects over the goal. Past the 5-minute mark here of period number 2, still 1-0 Bulldogs. McMahon on the pressure. She lifts the stick, wins the puck to behind the net. Knutson pressured by Hunt. Hunt controls. Knutson pushes her to the wall. Kraus comes away from that scrum with it. Penalty coming to LIU. Kraus has it, long shot, and it's deflected up over the glass, out of play. UMD to the power play when we come back. It's 1-0 Bulldogs on My 9 Sports. UMD to its first power play of the afternoon. The Bulldogs 2 for 2 with the advantage in yesterday's season opener. There you see the numbers from last year for these two teams on the power play penalty kill respectively. This a Minnesota power play for UMD. Baskin walks in. That shot was deflected to the near corner. Off the wall. Hunt will cut it off, and UMD will get set up. Baskin to Hunt. Walks in. Tried to go down low. Comes to Van Wieren to McMahon. She tried a centering pass. It comes to the near side wall. Job Smith up to the near point. This is Baskin. Job Smith in the circle. Walks in. A shot. That missed. Holm never saw it. And it comes out to center ice. So UMD will have to regroup with 30 seconds already gone in the power play. McMahon behind the goal. Her pass can't be handled cleanly by Hunt, so Baskin has it at the top. Job Smith in the circle. Baskin, top of the zone. Hunt, down low. McMahon, Van Wieren, one-timer, she scores! Tic-tac-toe, a power play goal. Van Wieren, second of the game. It's 2-0 UMD. Special teams continues to be red hot to start this year for UMD. Van Wieren's second goal of this game makes it 2-0 Bulldogs midway through the second period.
I don't know, Zach, we might have to throw some hats again today.
McMahon had the season opening hat trick and added one more for good measure in yesterday's game. Van Wieren 2/3 of the way there so far. Icing here on UMD. And the faceoff back into the Bulldogs zone with just over 13 minutes to go in period number 2. Off the face-off, Davis. Davis a shot and home makes the stop for Long Island. Outnumbered chance there for the Bulldogs. And now an offensive zone face-off coming up. Gives us time to remind you, Bulldogs fans, that you can gear up for hockey season with UMD stores now through Monday. Go pick up select Bulldog hockey sweatshirts for either $30, $40, or $55. Shop the campus store on Kirby Drive or online anytime, anywhere at umdstores.com.
Her second goal of the afternoon, and 27th of her career, number 25, Clara Van Wieren.
Well, lean centering pass, that's cleared away. This is Lanto. She muscles it out to center ice. LIU on the attack, and going down in a heap was Rourke. She's in offside, and the faceoff will come back to center ice. Just over 7 minutes gone here in period number 2. The shots in this middle frame, 5-0 UMD. .23-3 for the game are the shots on goal. And we talked about that next goal being a big one, because if UMD got it, now a 2-0 lead for an LIU team that has played 3 full games and change without scoring a single goal. 2 goals in half a hockey game seems like a big hill to climb now for the Sharks.
It does, especially against this UMD team and this UMD offense, and well, defense for that matter. And so, again, no task is too tall to come back and make a comeback. There's lots of time, but Zach, as you mentioned, it's definitely a deeper hole that they've just created for themselves.
And the smart hockey broadcaster would say UMD likely not done the way that they've been putting in the work offensively. 2 goals on 23 shots so far. My guess is that's not where UMD stops.
That's right, that trend would continue upward. That's what it would tell us, at least.
Sedura walks in. Her long shot was blocked off. And now it's Culp, who tried to go around to the far side. She has to continue on past Holloway, who now slides it to the middle. Burnett into the corner for UMD. Back to the point. This is Henderson. Walks to the middle. Just shoots it back into the corner. Sedura and Burnett there. Sedura has it. To the point, Carlson. Long shot, tipped in front. Great save from Holm on the redirect. Penalty coming to UMD. In the middle of the ice, I believe it's Brunette who will go off for cross-checking, and Long Island will go to its second power play of the game, 5th of the weekend for the Sharks. Talked with assistant coach Laura Schuler headed into this weekend series. She said she's still handling most of the power play duties, the penalty kill duties, which were the focal point of Laura Bellamy, who is now the head coach at Harvard. That has shifted over to Emma Sobiek, their new assistant coach. She's been able to step right in and is now directing this UMD penalty kill. So an interesting new wrinkle to this unit as McLeod makes her first save of the period, just her 4th of the game. The sophomore making just her 7th appearance in a UMD uniform, her first of this season. UMD gets the clear, 1:45 to go in the advantage for LIU as we tick closer to halfway through this second period. 2-0 Bulldogs on the back of 2 goals from Clara Van Wieren. Eid into the zone. Tries to leave it there for Culp and does. She switches spots into the corner. Culp still with it to the backhand. Tried to slide it toward the middle. Gives it now to Eid on the half boards. 1:15 to go on the power play for LIU. Eid ran into her own teammate from her knees. Now will slide it behind the goal. Job Smith, the first one there. She slaps it around the boards. Held in the zone by Culp. Tried to poke it away was Hunt. It comes back to Culp. Walking in. That shot blocked by Job Smith. Culp lost her stick in that confrontation. It comes free now to Lanto, a shot. That deflects to the far side. Bouncing puck couldn't be handled cleanly by Rourke. LIU might have something going in this power play. They've had the UMD killers out there for a long time. 40 seconds to go. Rourke picks it up in the corner. Back to the point. Fairman a long shot. That bounced harmlessly behind the goal. Wraparound chance. That's knocked away by McLeod. And it's cleared into the corner by UMD with 20 seconds to go on the power play. Long shift for these defensive killers for UMD, but the puck now pops free, and this is McMahon for the Bulldogs. Final 10 seconds. A lot of offensive zone time for Long Island, but just the one shot on goal as the penalty set to expire. Brunette is free, and we're back to 5-on-5 here at AMSOIL Arena. Carlson on the near boards. Van Wieren, the only goal scorer tonight. She's got a pair. She's got the puck now for UMD, slides it ahead for Davis. She tried to give it back to Van Wieren, nothing doing, and now she's got it as she enters the zone. Shields the puck nicely, gives it to O'Brien. Long shot, save made by Holm. O'Brien picks up her own rebound, gives it to Van Wieren. In the circle, to the point, Henderson. Henderson tried to go back to Van Wieren. They got their signals crossed. Penalty coming to LIU. Carlson has it, walks in. Holm made the save, and the rebound handcuffed her a bit, but LIU touches up. UMD back to the power play when we come back. Bulldogs leading 2-0 on My9 Sports. Lisa Schroeffel off for cross-checking, and UMD to its second power play of the game. Clara Van Wieren cashed in earlier this period on the Bulldogs' first chance, Alexis.
Yeah, I can imagine they're going to want to take advantage of this as well, Zach. They haven't failed to do that so far in this weekend series. They've been perfect on these chances on these power plays.
3 for 3 on the power play, throw in a shorthanded goal in yesterday's game, and the special teams for UMD has been pretty good in this season opening series. The penalty kill perfect as well. Another Minnesota power play for UMD. 8:15 to go in the second period. Van Wieren digs it free, gives it to Baskin. Van Wieren on hat trick watch. She's got 2 already in the game. Baskin to Job Smith. Far side Hunt walks in, a shot. Holm stick save, directs it to the end boards. Hunt gets it back on the far side. Baskin at the point. Walks to the middle, gives it to Hunt. She walks in, down low for McMahon. To Van Wieren, this time Holm makes the save. Same play they scored on earlier, and now Holm covers up for LIU. You can see what UMD is trying to do. They get the puck high to Baskin and Hunt, go down low to McMahon, and she tries to make a one-touch pass to Van Wieren. maybe to Joke Smith as she sneaks down on the weak side. They've been trying it all weekend, and as we've said, it's been successful.
It has been, but I would imagine that that's something that is an adjustment that LIU needs to pick up and make, especially if they want to stop this power play for UMD.
45 seconds gone, broken stick. It's LIU's, and now essentially a 5-on-3 for the Bulldogs. Van Weeren to Hunt. She was down inside the hash marks, deflected wide. McMahon has it. Tried to go across the box. That was deflected back to her. Gives it to Jope Smith. Broken stick out there for LIU. And now UMD power play continues. This is Jope Smith. Her shot deflected. Hunt picks it up. 45 seconds to go in the advantage for the Bulldogs. Baskin to Hunt. Across for Jope Smith, walking in. Glove save made by Holm. Might have been headed wide anyhow. Hunt to the point, Baskin. Hunt in the circle. Tried to go down low for McMahon. Well defended here by LIU. Held in the zone though by Baskin at the far side. Baskin, couple fresh power play operatives for UMD as the puck comes through the middle of the ice. They couldn't get one in on net. 15 seconds to go in this power play for the Bulldogs. Still one of the Sharks defenders without a stick. It's Ashley Morrow who has passed off her stick to the defenseman. LIU's gonna kill off the penalty, but UMD still controls in the offensive zone. Centering pass from Lowry. Stick to side by Holm. 5-on-5 we play now. Wallin fires, that was blocked. Getting it back is Kraus. To the point, Henderson. Carlson walks in. Shot towards the front, penalty coming, and it's to UMD. Olivia Wallin will go off for cross-checking, and we will go down between the benches to our Alexis Beckett, who has more.
Yeah, Zach, one of the biggest questions for this Bulldogs team coming into the season is who will be standing in the net. Obviously, Eve Garçon starting last night, ending her first career game with the Bulldogs, 12 saves and a shutout, and you see McLeod in there now doing what she needs to do. And this idea of battling for the top spot has been fairly new for the two, but a challenge that both of them are up for. Haley McLeod saying, listen, last year, it was the first time in my career that I had never started, and it's prepared her mentally. Coach Kroll saying Haley's making this a battle, and Coach loves that about her. Guys?
She makes a save here to start this latest Long Island, Minnesota power play. That's her 5th save of the game. She has not been tested all that much, just the 5 saves, and that might have been her best save of the evening so far. There's not much to talk about in terms of offense for the Sharks. So Bryan pokes that one away as LIU tries to exit their own zone. We'll kill some more time on this penalty. The 3rd power play of the game for Long Island. Rourke, the LIU captain, comes through center ice, across the blue line, sidesteps McMahon, into the corner, now behind the goal. Near side, hands off for Eid. Eid behind the goal. To the far side she goes. We'll wrap it around. This is Culp in the corner. Culp centering pass. McLeod stick that one aside. The rebound a bit shaky, but it's cleared away by the UMD defense. .45 seconds to go on the power play for LIU. Head of steam now for Linnea. She had to double back as she got to the high slot and the puck back to center ice. 30 seconds to play with the advantage for the Sharks. It's Linnaeus once more, defended by Jope Smith. Doubles back right into the defensive pressure of McMahon, who slides it ahead now for Bergen. Bergen short-handed for the Bulldogs to the backhand, saved by Holm. What a great play by Danielle Bergen. Short-handed, gets a great look at goal, turned aside by Tindra Holm.
Another really impressive save by Tindra Holm, Zach. I mean, she's been doing it all afternoon. Really keeping this LIU team held together.
.13 seconds to go on the power play for Long Island. 4:16 in this second period. Fighting through the check now is Lanto. Got it into the zone. It's immediately cleared by UMD. Wallin steps on, and we are back to 5-on-5 with 4 minutes to go now here in period number 2. Davis, far side corner, gives way to Lowry, takes away. Wallin, a shot home, makes the save. She just couldn't quite get it up over the shoulder, and now Culp has it for LIU. She clears the center ice. Bothered from behind by Lowry, but gets it in deep. McLeod will hand off for Fearman. Lowry moves it ahead through center ice. Wallin has it now. Puck taken away from her. Lowry continues on. And now it's Wylant. Wylant centering pass, looking for Eade, who is creeping down. Now it's Kearns battling with Wallin along the near boards. It's flipped out to center and into the LIU zone. Final 3 minutes of play now in this second period. Clara Van Wieren, the only marker of this frame. She's got the only goals of the game, and she's on the attack again for UMD. Wins that battle in the corner. To the front, Bergen, a shot off the side of the goal. Bergen gets it back. Now that shot went through the top of the crease area for UMD. Job Smith to Van Wieren. Slides it to Bergen just behind her as she cut through the zone. Wins it back along the boards. Continues on the battle with Eade, who goes down in a heap. The puck underneath Eade, and a big hit thrown there by Kearns. A penalty coming to LIU as she buried Bergen. Now O'Brien, a shot. Save made. The rebound, they score! Clara Van Wieren completes the hat trick. It's 3-0 UMD.
Oh, she was just waiting in the zone for that one, Zach. She knew she had it.
Nina Job Smith will grab the puck, and back-to-back hat tricks open this season for UMD. Manon McMahon and Clara Van Wieren. 3 goals apiece. And McMahon had 4 in yesterday's game. The first time that's happened since 2011. Now Van Wieren on the verge of making it happen in back-to-back games here against Long Island. The officials, I believe, discussing the penalty that was being called against Ryan Kearns. And they will review it. Kearns has gone to the penalty box. You typically don't get the well, they're going to review it for a major. The delayed call was on Kearns when Van Wieren scored. So let's see if we can wind the tape back to that hit in the corner just before Van Wieren scored. It was about 10 seconds before the goal. Danielle Bergen was along the end boards, and Kearns hit her from behind. When I saw it live, Alexis, it certainly looked to me like it would be a major penalty, or at least warrant consideration. That's what the officials discussing now, and that would just throw a little bit of fuel on the fire. You can see there in the lower left-hand corner, this is exactly what the officials are looking at. Kearns, number 77 in blue, hits Bergen at number 8 in white. The cross-check from behind is what they're looking at, and they will decide if this is indeed a major penalty. The goal from Van Wieren will stand.
Yeah, this will definitely, as you just mentioned, add fuel to the fire for UMD. I mean, they've been so good on these penalties anyways, and so this is just something that LIU, an error, a mistake that they can't take.
Long discussion here between the officials. We only saw those couple angles of it. And we will officially get the official ruling here on the penalty to LIU's Ryan Kearns.
Number 77 for LIU is a 5-minute major hit from behind and a game misconduct.
Yeah, 5-minute major and a game misconduct to Kearns for that hit on UMD's Danielle Bergen, and it's hard to argue that. I think Bergen in a defenseless position the entire time, and Kearns made the decision to go over, and certainly the area of the ice being so close to the boards makes an impact on that as well. The officials explaining the decision to LIU's head coach, Kelly Nash, now in her second season. Won a Newha championship in her first season with the Sharks, made their first NCAA tournament appearance. An exciting year for them, albeit the ending, not the storybook ending they were hoping for. They lost to the eventual national champions, Wisconsin. No shame in that. Everybody seemed to lose to Wisconsin last year. So UMD now up 3-0 with the hat trick from Clara Van Wieren. Will have a 5-minute power play. That is all you can eat. As many times as you can score, you're allowed. And we'll carry over to the third and final period here at AMSOIL Arena. Baskin to Hunt, top of the circle. Baskin to Hunt, gives it to Van Wieren, walks in, tried to center for McMahon, who was top of the crease. She gets it back, gives to Hunt. Baskin, Hunt, those two play catch. Now it comes to Job Smith, walks in, centering shot. McMahon slid it across the crease. Hunt couldn't get her stick free. 90 seconds to go in the period. Baskin, Hunt, Baskin. Tipped in front and Holm found it through traffic. She makes the pad save with 1:25 to go. Second unit out over the boards for UMD on this Minnesota power play. LIU wraps it around to the far side. Wallin cuts it off there. 1:15 to go in this second period. Can UMD tack on one more before they head to the locker room? Lowry to the point, Henderson. Carlson walks in, long shot, that hit Kraus, who is providing the screen in front. Carlson back to the point, held by Henderson. We haven't seen much of this second unit this weekend on the power play because we haven't had to. The first unit has been so successful. We'll get some time here on this major penalty to LIU. 45 seconds to play in the period. Carlson walks in, a shot. That was off the mask of Holm. Taken by Lowry. Lowry high in the zone now. Henderson. Lowry walks in the circle, tried to find Kraus down low. Comes back to Lowry. Carlson. Henderson. Far side McMahon. Final 10 seconds of the period. Hunt to Carlson. 5 seconds to go. Carlson to Baskin, a long shot. Save made by Holm. Another save on the rebound. And the period comes to a close. Clara Van Wieren, 2 more goals for the Bulldogs. She completes her first collegiate hat trick. She and the Bulldogs lead 3-0 after 2 here on My 9 Sports. 3-0 after 2 periods here at AMSOIL Arena. UMD is leading Long Island University right now. Our Alexis Beckett as UMD junior defenseman Hannah Baskin with her on the ice.
Hannah, 5 periods with no goals allowed. What's making you guys so efficient this year?
I think one of the things we've really been focusing on is just playing physical. So that's just getting in, getting bodies pinned against the boards, and then having that quick support and just being there for each other has helped us get the puck out quick. And yeah, it's just exactly like we planned.
Still another period to go, though. How do you go 6 for 6?
We go 6 for 6 by just sticking to the game plan. I think we got to keep it simple here. Listen to what the coaches are telling us. You know, let the puck do the work and just leave it all out there. This is our last period of the weekend, so let's just finish it strong here.
Now, 2 of your leaders with hat tricks. How cool is that and special is that to start the season for you guys?
Yeah, it's so awesome. It's great to have that leadership and just have those role models, you know, and they really do set the tone, and it follows throughout the lineup no matter how old you are. So I look up to them, and I know the rest of the team does too. So it's super cool to have them on our team.
All right, thank you so much, Hannah.
Thank you.
Guys.
Yeah, thanks very much, Hannah Baskin, part of a defensive core that so far through 5 periods this weekend has not allowed a goal, and still 20 minutes to go, but certainly the defensive effort, the goaltending has been overshadowed a bit by the 2 hat tricks that we've seen out of UMD, but that part of the ice has been good for the Bulldogs as well.
That's right. You can't have, you know, all of the offensive effectivity if you don't have a good defense. I mean, every coach will talk about it. Defense wins championships, and I know that's a big characteristic of this UMD team, and it always has been. So I love to see that we're seeing that so early on in the season, that they're staying so disciplined in defense, and they're really establishing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Defense sometimes goes unnoticed, but it is such an important part of an entire season for a college hockey team. But the headlines so far this weekend, a hat trick yesterday for Maddie McMahon. She ended up with 4. A hat trick today for Clara Van Wieren. And coming up next, we've got the fastest hat trick in UMD women's soccer history here with us, Anna Tobias, right after the break. You will hear from her as the intermission report continues on My 9 Sports.
Welcome back to UMD women's hockey game versus LIU. I'm here with women's soccer player, junior forward, Anna Tobias. Now, we've been talking all weekend about hat tricks, but you, in fact, scored your very own hat trick just a few weeks ago in Bulldog Country. Apparently, you were in the business in Bulldog Country of making history. Talk to me about what that was like for you, scoring the fastest hat trick in Division II women's soccer history.
Yeah, so that was honestly one of the craziest experiences of my life. So we went into the second half 0-0, knowing we needed to score, we needed to get on the board. So after that first goal that I scored, I was like, great, we're on the board, but we're not done yet. We need more goals. And it happened to come right back to me, and my teammate sent me a great opportunity, and I was able to finish that one. And I was like, wow, 2 goals, that's great. I'm happy, but we still got to get more. Like, we want more. And I guess it was only 20-ish seconds later, I was set up for another great opportunity and was able to capitalize on that. And yeah, we were up 3-0, and it was just a great way to start the second half. And I didn't realize it was in 1 minute and 8 seconds. I thought it was maybe 5 minutes, but to hear that it was a record was a surreal feeling, so it was really cool.
Time flies when you're balling out, for sure.
Yeah,
At what point did you realize that you had just broken not only a UMD record, but an NCAA Division II record?
Yeah, so I didn't realize this was a record at all until after the game. Someone came up and said, you maybe have the 2nd fastest in NCAA history, and I was like, oh, great, that's great. Super cool. And then about an hour later, I was out to lunch with my mom, and my coach calls me, and he's like, this isn't official yet, but we're finding out now with official review that it looks like you have the fastest one in history. And I was just all smiles, you know. I didn't even know what to say. I was like, wow, that's great. Cool. I'm excited to officially hear it and see it. And then ever since, it's just been a lot of, recognition and everything, which is awesome. I want to make sure my team gets recognized just as much for sending me those opportunities, but it was super cool.
I have to know, when you got that phone call from your coach, you're having lunch with your mom. I'm sure that was something that brought such a smile to her face, as parents are such a big part of as to why you can play collegiate athletics. What was her reaction?
She just sat there, and she honestly had no words either, just like me, but we're both speechless. She was just smiling. We were both laughing, like covering our mouths a little bit, like, oh my gosh, this just happened. So we were both just laughing and smiling, and it was awesome.
And speaking of family support, I know that you have that right here at UMD for you. You get to go to college with your brother. Mm-hmm. What has that meant for you across your Bulldog career here in Duluth?
Yeah, so he has come to a handful of my games, especially recently. He's come to a lot more, and that's super awesome. And he has a little bit of soccer experience. He played goalie for a few years back in high school, but he helps me, analyze the game afterwards and tell me what I can do better, what I can look for next time, which is really awesome with the soccer side of things. But also just to have someone to talk to, someone, if I'm down, someone I can go hang out with pretty much no matter what, because family's forever. Like, he's always there for me, and it's really awesome just to have him by my side.
And I know you guys mean business tomorrow at noon at Malossi Stadium. You're back doing your thing, and so you play Minot. Can you give us a little bit of a sneak peek, a scouting report for tomorrow?
Yeah, so Minot, they're a strong team. They are ranked below us right now, but in my opinion, they're a really solid team. They have a strong defense. We've been working on you know, how we're going to get around their defense, what we're going to do. We need this win. We haven't had a win in a while, so we need goals. We need a win. We were able to beat them last year. It was a close game. It was 1-0. That was one of our first games of the season. It was a big upset, and so that kind of got us going for last year's season, but now we need to get it going for this year's season as well. So it's an important win we need.
Well, thank you, Anna. You guys heard it here first. UMD needs this win tomorrow at Malasey Stadium. Kickoff is at noon, but we'll be right back after the break with more UMD women's hockey.
You're watching My Nine Sports.
Welcome back to AMSOIL Arena. Third period coming up for UMD and Long Island University. Zach Schneider, Alexis Bass back with you here on My Nine Sports. The Bulldogs lead it 3-0 after 2 periods of play and have 2 minutes and 39 seconds of carryover power play time from the major penalty late in the second period to Ryan Kearns. So a chance to add more for this UMD team, out shooting LIU 37-6 through 2 periods.
I can tell you, Zach, there's definitely some conversating in the locker rooms just now about game plan, ways they were going to score on this last 2 minutes and 30 seconds in this power play.
You get some fresh ice, you get some rest. Chance for UMD to continue its special teams dominance here on opening weekend. This is Hunt. Hunt, a shot, she scores! Reese Hunt, her first as a Bulldog, a power play goal. It's 4-0 UMD. Well, right on cue, the Bemidji State transfer lifts one up over the shoulder of Tindra Holm. Reese Hunt, who had 20 goals in 136 games with Bemidji State. This her first as a Bulldog, and it's 4-0 UMD here early in the third period. Job Smith now through neutral ice. McMahon across the line, will dump it in, and she'll be the one to give chase. Schroeffel the first one there, pickpocketed by McMahon. Gives it to Carlson. Job Smith, Hunt. Job Smith to Carlson, in front, looking for Hunt once more. McMahon falling down, gets it out to the point, out of the reach of Job Smith. Good save by Holm. Hunt was on the doorstep for maybe her second of the period.
On the power play. Her first goal as a Bulldog and 21st of her career. Number
Carlson ahead at the blue line. This is Waleen.
Hunt.
Waleen shoots it around the boards. Tried to cut it off there, did Kraus. It got through her. Henderson and Waleen try to hold the point at the near side boards. They do. To the middle. Kraus high in the slot. Works her way to the circle. Hands off for Dunkel. Now Henderson. Dunkel. Far side circle. Henderson. Near circle. Henderson again at the top. Dunkel. 55 seconds to go in the power play for UMD. Dunkel, far circle, toward the front, deflected. Waleen picks it up behind the goal. Lowry in the near circle. Henderson at the top. Lowry moves in, gives back to Henderson. Now Dunkel, far circle. Henderson, high slot, long shot blocked. Lowry picks it up for UMD. 30 seconds to go in the major penalty. Falling down by, it was Henderson. Lowry holds his own, walks in, a shot. Blocker save made by Holm. Kraus picks up the rebound with 20 seconds to go in the advantage. Lowry walks in, down low. It's Kraus to the far side. Dunkel walks in, and that shot hit bodies in front. Moved back to Henderson. Tova Henderson into the circle to Gabby Kraus. Final 5 seconds now of the UMD Minnesota power play. Holloway is knocked down hard into the end boards. We're back to 5-on-5, and out to neutral ice comes LIU. This is Journey Miller. Got her on one Bulldog, but not two. This is Fierman, who doubles back behind her own goal for UMD. Hands off to Dunkel, her partner. as the Bulldogs protecting now a 4-goal lead in the third period, trying to put the finishing touches on what would be a season opening sweep of Long Island University and get to looking ahead as number 2 Ohio State will be in Duluth next weekend to open up WCHA play for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, it only gets tougher for this team as they open up league play, as you just said, Zach. That Morris says, you know, either way, we play really well. We can always have room and space to grow and to get better, and they're going to have to when you bring in a team like Ohio State, one of their favorite matchups, I know, in league play that they have during the season.
Out to center ice. LIU on the attack. Morrow a shot. McLeod makes the save. She hasn't been called into action much. That's her 7th stop of the afternoon. But McLeod has been fairly sharp. Campbell, long shot off the end wall. Karams dangerously to the far side. LIU to the point now. Fearman wraps it around to the near side. This is Job Smith. She'll flip it high and out to center ice. They're going to wave off the icing. Back to get it is Sage McKay for LIU. She's bothered by the UMD captain, McMahon. 4 goals last night, not on the score sheet. Well, she's got an assist. I should take that back. But hasn't scored a goal yet today. Something's wrong with Manon McMahon.
You had to spread the wealth, share it with all your teammates, and she gave it to her fellow captain, Claire Van Wieren.
Back-to-back hat tricks. On opening weekend for UMD. Kaylee Campbell back to play the puck behind her own goal. It's dug free by Van Wieren, who's got the 3 tonight for UMD. He tries to circle back into the corner. Good body position, and now Campbell will move it to the near side. This is McKay. Her outlet pass deflected, but finds Willant. And now Bergstrom. We haven't talked about her much in this afternoon's game, but she was a big part of yesterday's win. The freshman out of Sweden, played in the 2022 Olympic Games. Excuse me, the senior transfer from LIU. I'm getting my Swedish
There's
UMD
so much
players
talent
confused.
from the Swedes on both sides.
Ida Carlson, the freshman defender. Paula Bergstrom, the senior transfer from LIU. Both from Sweden. Eade shovels it in for LIU. Past the 5-minute mark of period number 3. Reese Hunt has added to the lead for the Bulldogs. They lead 4-0. Now a turnover. Lanto, long shot. McLeod makes the save. The rebound, Lanto off the side of the cage. Goes to the far side. Willeen picks it up there. She'll flip to center for UMD. Only got it as far as Fairman, who will fire in on McLeod, makes the stop and holds on for the Bulldogs. Reese Hunt, a power play goal early in the third, has the Bulldogs up 4-0 on My 9 Sports. Defensive zone faceoff coming for UMD, leading 4-0 midway through the third period. Shots 41-9 in favor of the Bulldogs. Zach Schneider, Alexis Beckett here with you on My 9 Sports. A full day of hockey here at AMSOIL Arena. Later tonight, the UMD men with their season opener in the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame game. The Bulldogs will be hosting their old WCHA foe, Michigan Tech, in a 1-game stanza to open this season. We'll have that for you starting at 7 o'clock here on My 9 Sports. Willeen digs it out, and Davis jams a puck on the near side. That was stopped by Holm and flutters into the far side corner. To the point, held by Dunkel. Long shot, that was high and wide. Off the glass, it comes to Bergstrom, sends it back deep into the corner. McMahon to Kraus at the half boards. Bergstrom at the point. Dunkel wants it, gets it at the far point. Puts one toward the middle, gets as far as Hunt, who spins and fires. Now on the backhand, the rebound. Puck still free. McMahon kicks it to her stick and couldn't pull the trigger. Comes free to Dunkel at the far point. 12.5 minutes to go now in this third and final period. Bergstrom. Dunkel, far side, walks in, shot, save home. Hunt follows the rebound into the corner. Dunkel at the point. UMD changing with possession in this offensive zone. Henderson has it at the half boards. Tried to go toward the middle. Intended for Hunt, never got to her. Van Wieren, one of the fresh forwards on the ice for UMD, has the puck on those half boards. And they turn it over. LIU will be able to flip to center, but not past Dunkel. Back on the attacker of the Bulldogs. This is Bergen on the backhand. Cuts to the middle. Collides with Holm in the end. And they'll get a whistle. No penalty coming, but the face-off outside as Bergen made contact with the goaltender. Breaking the action. Good time to remind you the UMD Store's annual balloon sale is this coming Wednesday, October 11th. Go shop for your UMD gear. Pop a balloon at checkout and you can save 100% off your entire purchase of UMD wear and gifts. Get to UMD Stores on campus on Kirby Drive this Wednesday, October 11th. Van Wieren, 3 goals already for her in the game. Trying to match, perhaps, the captain, Manon McMahon, who had 4 in yesterday's opener. O'Brien, a shot from a sharp angle, saved by Holm. Knocked out by Babington. Back to get it, though, is Ida Carlson. He puts it out near the blue line. It pops out to center ice for UMD. On the chase is Bergen. He forces Fairman back into her own zone. Ahead for Wylant. She's dispossessed at neutral. This is Job Smith who leads the attack. Across the blue line. Stops high in the zone toward the front. Holm made the save. Rebound. Kick to the end wall by Bree Eade. Eade moves it into the corner. Rourke chases there. She's cut off by the freshman Peyton Holloway, but a slick pass off the boards. This is Eade. They come 2-on-2 through neutral. Played ahead and giving chase is Michaela Lanto. She circles back in the corner, tried a centering pass. It's taken away by Grace Sedura. Chipped ahead now to herself. Danielle Brunette couldn't get past the defense of Maggie Culp. Brunette continued on and almost took it away in front of the LIU goal. 10 minutes gone, 10 minutes to go here in the third period. UMD leading 4-0, shots 45-9 Bulldogs. Davis, nifty stick work out in front. Her shot stopped in the end by Holm. Bergstrom pinches down, holds the zone momentarily, but the puck out to center ice, retrieved by Davis, moves it to the far side to Quinn Dunkel. Now Bergstrom through center ice. Ahead for Davis, who shoots it in for UMD. Davis out in front, all alone was Lowry, and she rushed it on the one-timer. Didn't get a lot on it. Holm makes the save, and it stays 4-0 Bulldogs as we head to break on My Nine Sports. Coaches love to see the third period when you're up by a couple goals be a pretty boring academic period, and so far that's what we've seen from UMD in this third and final frame.
Yeah, while it might seem boring on the scoreboard, Zach, I mean, the stops and some of the defensive plays that this LIU team continues to have is impressive, to say the least. And UMD keeps putting it on them, and you can't blame them. Even yesterday, right? They're up 4-0, and they continue to add a couple more to finish out game 1. And I could imagine, I wouldn't be surprised if they do the same thing in these final 9 minutes.
Linnaeus on the chase here for LIU, and they're going to be whistled down for offside with a face-off coming at center ice. Let's go down between the benches to Alexis Beckett with more.
Yeah, Zach, 3 veteran Bulldogs leading this team with letters on their chest, and Claire Van Wieren, Nina Joe Smith, and Nina Joe Smith and Manon McMahon. Already 2 of the 3 of them have hat tricks, and if they keep going at this rate, we're going to need more hats to throw. But it's not about that and why they have the letters on their chest. It's about, first and foremost, them being good people, which is something that head coach Coach Kroll preaches preaches to these girls, but she also says the word connectors. The way that these women are able to build that respect, connect with anybody and build relationships with no matter who they are, what age they are, what school they came from, that's what it's been about. And it's not something that just the captains have been able to do, but it's also been something from top to bottom, from the coaches to the newest player on this team has been able to do. And it seems to be working for these guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Maura Kroll made a good point that in order to coach the players the way that they want to and demand what they expect of them throughout a season and a career, that you first have to build that foundation. And you played collegiate athletics, you get that. It's not all the yelling and the correcting that so often we see and we associate with head coaches, but it's the private moments that maybe don't get talked about where they build that trust in that relationship.
It is, Zach. It's all rooted in relationships, and I think that's why Maura has built such a strong culture at UMD, is the way that she feeds every single one of these players, whether it's her or the other coaches, because at the end of the day, you don't have that player-coach relationship that's healthy, it doesn't convert on the ice. And so she did use that word a lot that Alexis Beckett just talks about, connectors. She sees the importance of connecting on and off the ice, whether you are a freshman, you're a newcomer, or you're a senior and you've been here all 5 years like Mann and McMahon. Relationships continue to be part of their game that they want to grow because it continues to do good things for this program.
As Alexis Beckett was delivering that report, a penalty called on UMD's Ida Carlson. So Minnesota power play at the moment for Long Island, with a chance to shrink the lead of the Bulldogs and score their, what would be their first goal of this young season. But a minute and a half already gone, 30 seconds to go in that advantage for the Sharks, and 7.5 minutes to play here in this third period. Fearman will wrap it around to the far side. Lowry tried to go off the wall and out, can't do that. This is Lanto, gives it to Culp at the far side. She walks into the circle, a shot. McLeod made that save. Culp continues on. She's pushed into the wall by Jope Smith. And now a one-on-one battle. The puck pops free, and Bergen will pitchfork at the length of the ice. Carlson is back, and UMD has killed its fourth power play of this game, 7th of the weekend. McMahon back to 5-on-5, moves it to the far side. Bergstrom, a shot, saved by Holm. Back to the point it comes. This is Dunkel. She loads, gives it to McMahon instead. Tried to sidestep the defense. Defended well in the end by Maggie Culp. And now played ahead by LIU. Hunt across the line. She's got the only goal of this third period. Stretched the lead to 4 with her first in a UMD uniform. Now McMahon causes the turnover, plays it ahead. It's tipped in by Kraus. She'll be the one to give chase with 6 minutes to go in period number 3. Henderson ahead for Kraus. End of her shift. She'll flip it in and head to the bench on a change for the Bulldogs. A wayward glove in the middle of the LIU zone. And now it's Brunette. High in the zone for the Bulldogs. Long shot, blocker save. Might have caught the knob of her stick for Tindra Holm, but she keeps it out. Taken away now by Sedura. She goes into the corner. Holloway back to Sedura, and Holm makes a good stop. 2 freshmen trying to connect there for UMD. Tindra Holm makes the stop for LIU. Looking around UMD, a couple tough losses for the football and volleyball teams earlier this afternoon. Football team down on the road, 28-18 against Wayne State, and the Bulldogs volleyball team 3-1 loss today against Southwest Minnesota State. So a tough day around Bulldog country, but not a tough weekend here at AMSOIL Arena for the women's hockey team.
I think we might be on a good track, and hopefully that bleeds into tonight's men's game against Michigan Tech.
Icing on LIU with just over 5 minutes to go here in this third period. It's been all UMD, and now the trick will be not only closing out this game, playing for your goaltender. Coaches will so often talk about at this point in the game where the result is pretty much decided, but now you're playing for Haley McLeod much the same way yesterday you were playing for Eve Gaston to try and complete that season or that series long clean sheet, but also playing towards next weekend. We've talked about Ohio State. We've talked about the fact it's going to be a tougher test than Long Island was this weekend, and UMD is going to have to be ready for that.
Yeah, they know that. They know that WCHA play means business, but just as much as this game and any other game would be, they love playing Ohio State. They love the battle that that gives them, and having a top 10 nationally ranked battle up in Amsoil, it's something they know too well, and I know something that they have redemption on the horizon too.
Good save on that last sequence from Tindra Holm, her latest in a long line of really good saves this weekend. He's been under siege from pretty much the jump. UMD scored 90 seconds and change into yesterday's opener, 60 seconds and change into tonight's series finale, and they have not looked back. 10 goals so far on the weekend for UMD. Dunkel try to move it back down low. Rourke pokes that one away, moves it ahead for Lanto, and she continues on, but Dunkel is there to clean up for UMD. Moves it ahead. This is Wallin. She's in 1-on-2, canceled out along the near boards by Fairman. Campbell tried to pitchfork it along. It's dug free by Wallin. Tried to go to the point, now right in front, and missing the net was Lowry. Lowry has had a couple really good looks at goal for UMD. Long shot from Henderson is blocked, and with 3.5 minutes to go, Culp will just slide it out to center ice. Now it's Hunt. Hunt, toe drag to the middle. Her shot blocked in the end. Comes back in on goal, and Holm covers up there for Long Island. We'll step aside. 4-0 Bulldogs late in the third on My 9 Sports. 3:21 to go. 4-0 UMD leading Long Island. And closing in on a season opening sweep are the Bulldogs before opening WCHA play in this building next weekend.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Zach, a performance like this is only going to go ahead and bring heavy motivation and confidence to this UMD team when they welcome the Buckeyes next weekend.
Kraus and Henderson battle for it along the near boards for the Bulldogs. They move it back into their own zone. This is McMahon. Tries to skate it through center ice and does across the line. Can't get past in the end. Lisa Schroeffel gets it back now, though, does McMahon. McMahon to the front and leaves it for Kraus. I think Holm made a stop on that in the end. 2:45 to play. And the onslaught continues for UMD. They really have not pulled their foot off the gas since the opening minute of yesterday's game. Wailant through center ice. Gains the red line, shoots it in wide of the goal. To the far side, this is Freeman. She goes down in a heap, a collision with Fearman for UMD. The puck behind the goal, this is Henderson. Ahead for Hunt. Hunt to Sedura, who's 1-on-5 as she crosses the blue line, gives the puck up. Now with some speed through neutral ice, this is Morrow. Morrow can't get it past Jope Smith, who flips to center ice. And that would have been an icing, negated by Holm, who decides to play the puck. With inside of 2 minutes to go, Fearman walks in the circle, a shot, and it's deflected up out of play. We won't be back on the air with this women's hockey team until the middle of November, but a big series that will be as they host Minnesota, their in-state WCHA rival. And I would imagine that the players are fairly split between Ohio State, Wisconsin, and Minnesota as who's their favorite WCHA team to play, but Minnesota's got to have a lot of votes.
Yeah, Minnesota's always on that top three. You just said it, Zach. And the reason they love playing Minnesota besides the rivalry is that this barn is so packed with friends and family from the cities, the area, and it's always a competitive battle. And I know that they're is quite the amount of redemption on this UMD team, as they were not able to grab a win from the Gophers at all last season, especially in that tough regional loss. It's always going to be a good showing between those two teams of battle, to say the least.
A lot of the players on the UMD team from that Twin Cities metro area, so well aware of the rivalry long-standing with the Bulldogs and the Gophers. That will be coming up for you in the middle of November. Next time we're on the air with the women's hockey team, and then we'll have a busy second half with these Bulldogs after the holiday break. 45 seconds to go. UMD going to complete the season opening sweep here of Long Island in pretty impressive fashion. Back-to-back hat tricks. Mann and McMahon with the 4 goals yesterday. Clara Van Wieren, 3 goals so far today. They'll wave off this icing. Beating it out to the goal line was Vreeman. Her centering pass no good. And we'll lean back the other way. Final 10 seconds. Chance for one last rush from LIU. But it's taken by Henderson, and they will wind the clock out. Back-to-back hat tricks, back-to-back shutouts for UMD. Haley McLeod backs up Ev Gascon's shutout with one of her own. 10 saves for McLeod. And the Bulldogs win it 4-0 the final here at AMSOIL Arena. They get the season opening sweep over non-conference opponent Long Island University. We'll take a break, bring you back. You'll hear once more from Clara Van Wieren. She had a hat trick in this game this afternoon. You will hear from her right after this on My 9 Sports. The research department here at AMSOIL Arena has been busy this weekend. Mann and McMahon yesterday became the first UMD player with 4 goals in a single game since 2011. Now she and Clara Van Wieren, the first UMD players with back-to-back hat tricks since 2005. So it has been a while in this program. So many great goal scorers, so many great teams throughout the years, but those two this weekend did something that has not happened for quite some time in Bulldogs hockey history.
Yeah, that's right, Zach. And I know that some fans, people outside of UMD have been concerned. What is this team going to do with losing so much talent? Well, we got some answers this weekend for sure. Some really impressive performance by 2 of the 3 captains. And I would love to know what the conversation was like after that first hat trick last night and who could do it today. And so big answers from them, big props, and they both talk about in their leadership styles, they lead by example, and they proved that this weekend. Some
answers to some of the questions, but more questions still lie ahead for this year's team, and we will learn more next weekend as they get into the WCHA schedule. They take on Ohio State, ranked 2nd in the country, lost last year's national championship game to Wisconsin, but you can only play the series that's in front of you, and so far the first test that UMD had, they passed with flying colors.
Yeah, flying colors to say the least. And you talk about the questions that still are in the air for UMD. Of course, that be the goalie position as well. Both had shutouts this past weekend, and so of course that's going to continue to make the coach's job tough. But they say, hey, if that's the task that we need to take, we'll take it.
Yeah, let's take a look at the highlights. A natural hat trick today for Clara Van Wieren. You heard from her after the opening period, and she scored just 62 seconds into the game. They scored 90 seconds into last night's game, and certainly it's something that has to be emphasized for UMD to come back and say, we're going to start fast again, we're going to get on top of LIU and really not make them think that there's any reason they can compete in this series.
That's right, and that's always a key for so many hockey teams. You talk to coaches about what is it to get this team going? They always say it comes down to that first goal. That means something. And Clara told us earlier this year that she just wanted her game to be more explosive. And I can tell you she came out and proved that again tonight, 62 seconds in. And so I can imagine that that's going to become a strong, necessary characteristic for this team to continue to start off strong as that first goal.
I don't know that we learned too much about the goaltenders. Neither one was tested all that much this weekend. That will change next weekend with Ohio State in this building. But Ev Gascon and Haley McLeod, we're not sure which one, if either one, will be the #1 option primarily moving forward. But both of them had good starts as well.
They did. So props to both of them. And Maura said, all season long, it probably will continue to be a competitive battle. As you said, we might have more answers next weekend, but props to both of them. They know in that goalie room it's going to be tough, and 2 goalies is something that we've seen a little bit trendy around here in Bulldog Country. So it's keeping us on our toes as well.
As we mentioned throughout that game, this just the first of 2 games here today at Amsoil Arena coming up at 7 o'clock. The men's team will have their season opener as they host the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame game against Michigan Tech. Next weekend, that men's team will be hosting Northern Michigan here at Amsoil Arena. We'll have those games for you as well. And the football team, fresh off its first loss of the season, will try to bounce back next Saturday afternoon against the University of Mary. First and foremost, we hope you can join us later on tonight as the UMD men start their season against Michigan Tech. But for now, for Alexis Bass, Alexis Beckett, Tom Hansen, I am Zach Schneider, everybody associated here with My 9 Sports. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to our 2 corporate sponsors, Essentia Health and Kohler Chevrolet Buick GMC, for their continued support of these broadcasts all season long. 4-0 the final this afternoon. UMD 2-0 this year. Until next time, hockey fans, so long.
At Whole Foods Co-op, we offer fresh foods at prices that are affordable. Discover Co-op Basics that include regular low prices on the products you use the most. Visit us in-store or shop online at wholefoods.coop.
Get out and start your adventure at family-owned Bullion RV. You'll get the best deal on the right RV for you. Choose from a huge variety of over 275 RVs in stock and ready for adventure. If you need to get your RV back in action with 24 service bays, experienced technicians, and world-class service, Bullion RV is the only choice for you. Visit us now on the Miller Truck Highway